And we're live! Hello, friends and loved ones!
Hey.
Happy Wednesday! It's the new Dungeon Cooldown! It's been a minute since we've done a Dungeon Cooldown. Hi, friends!
Hey, Morgan.
Carrie, your hair's adorable.
Thank you.
Adam, your beard is adorable. You look good.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
Of course, yeah. No, we haven't done a cooldown in a sec. We definitely thought about trying to do a cooldown in the middle of the chapter, but given that since we pre-taped it, knew what happened, we're like, no, none of us trusted ourselves.
Sure.
It was like, I will definitely spoil everything. Well, it's
totally agree.
And then when Ron destroyed the world, I mean, what?
I mean, if the apocalypse means apocalypse, I don't know why everybody was surprised. Like Crystal said, apocalypse.
You were the chillest. You were the chillest about the apocalypse, I think, honestly. You were sort of like, yeah, I mean, Gas said it. What did you want to say?
Well, I was sitting next to you, Morgan, and Val's reaction was so big. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna. I think I'll just.
Top me, bro. Come on, let's go.
Crispel's already lost most everything else. I mean, he's like, the world.
Buddy.
It's fine.
The saddest.
It's fine.
But here, let's pull back slightly because we got a lot to get to today. We got a lot of wonderful questions both on the Patreon and the Discord. Throw some up in chat too if you got any burning queries for us. We got so much to get to. As Carrie said before we started rolling, no guarantee that we'll remember all the answers to exactly what happened because Ron likes to spoil our brains like they're scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
I'm getting so many things on Instagram that are like D&D humor that are about the party. Just what? About like
you're like relatable,
and I'm like, what is Instagram trying to tell me?
That you're not alone, Carrie. I'm trying to adjust my camera. Sorry.
I feel so seen.
Yeah, that is the nice thing about D&D memes, really, is that it's like, boy, they really make you feel like, you know, if you think you're the worst, like, murder hobo table, then you read stories and you're like, oh, no, we're not even close.
We're not even close to the murder hobos.
Yeah, we're fine. No worries.
Yeah.
As long as we're not murdering shopkeeps for not giving us a 10% discount, I think we're fine.
Now you're giving me ideas.
Easy, Carrie. Easy.
Coco is the wild card. I mean, let's be honest. Coco's the wild card.
I think each of us have been the wild card at certain times, which is maybe one of the beauties of this party. Like, Otto's definitely been the wild card sometimes.
Very true. Very true.
But
Otto drinks chaos for breakfast.
That is drink like he likes a liquid breakfast, does he?
Obviously, just pounds that shit.
Watch your language, Carrie. No, you're.
Sorry.
Oh, jeez, it's not the short rest.
Petered out at the end. I was like, shoot.
No, you're fine. We love you. By the way, I wanted to mention, because we like to shout out new patrons, and since we again pre-taped, there's been a bunch of new patrons that I haven't had the chance to shout out. So while we're here and we have a second, I just wanted to say thanks so much, Josh Moore, Shoe for Eye Guy. Thank you. Good. And I am gonna mispronounce every time, and I think they even told me how to pronounce their name once, and I need to find it again because I know I'm doing it wrong, and I apologize. But you're amazing, and I appreciate you. Zabrian, thank you. It's always good to see you, and welcome to the Patreon. Who else? I got more here. Nathan Irvin, Gamershare. Thanks, Gamershare. Hushlings, Mike Schwartz. I got others. Chafrikas. That's a name that's been around for a long time. Rocks with a bunch of S's. And here's a Patreon name: Two Trans Bros in a Trench Coat.
Nice.
Well done.
Like
Well done.
That's a sitcom. I'm actually writing that sitcom right now.
That's a good one. And Andrea
Already registered the title.
That's right. And lastly, Andrea Pantaloni, who I believe your name means Andrea Pants.
Nice.
Thank you, Andrea Pants, and thank you to everybody. This show's made possible by Patreon, patreon.com/adungeonrun. Get over there to find the VOD of this episode, to find all the short rests that we recorded in between the episodes, which were piping hot on this last chapter for sure. Though I was laughing.
Yeah, it looked like exhaustion and swearing.
I mean, yeah, we were. Serena even said it, but it was like we were dehydrated from crying so much after the last one. Yeah, because we talked about this a bit, but to be clear, we recorded those 5 episodes on three total of 3 days. The first episode was 1 day, episodes 2 and 3 were day 2, and episodes 4 and 5 were day 3.
If you say so, man, I don't remember.
Right? Yeah, it's all a blur. Day 2 was bathtub in the first part of the day, and then puzzles in the second part of the day. So that was, it was kind of fun, kind of light. And then day 3 was just pain. It was just all pain and a little bit of sweetness at the end, and that was nice. But it was a lot of pain.
I think Ron just enjoys it. I think he's a little bit of a sadist.
Let's start there, because we got a lot of questions. But I mean, one of the big moments, because we all had like really hard moments throughout this chapter. But I mean, you, Adam, in episode 4, finding out about Lumbra, me finding out that apocalypse meant apocalypse. Kari in episode 5. Oh, you broke my heart so hard. There was so many emotions that just kept happening. But the break between episodes 4 and 5 was tough. That was a tough one, when we were like everyone was worried about you, Adam. Because we were I was like, oh boy, Cristobal's in a really rough spot.
He took away my god, you guys. He took away my god.
And it wasn't just that, it was also that he took away your god, but it was like, we talked about this on the short rest, but it was a kind of a beautiful awkwardness of like, oh, it's Yuri. Yuri's a god now. And it's like, oh, she's your god though. No, your god's gone and it's your friend now. Oh.
Yeah. And now my friend's leaving.
Now she's leaving. Oh. And yeah, Serena called it out where there was legitimately like and then record scratch. Are you okay? Like, whoa. Hold up. We're dealing with this thing over here, but it was so palpable at the table as Cristobal just started to retract. And it was like, no. It was sad. It was so sad.
I mean, sweet baby Cristo.
I know.
I mean, Morgan, what about Val? I mean, you're talking about you just started making amends with your family, and things were starting to get, and now they're all dead.
Watching people watch the episodes live, it was so funny on the Discord or somewhere where someone, after episode 2, someone was like, boy, it really feels like Val's getting close to a breakdown. And I was like, just you wait. Oh, how right you are.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear more about what it was like for our audience to watch all the things unfold.
Oh my God. Okay, well that's a good point there, Kari. Let's because as I said, we have so many beautiful questions. Thank you all. I'm gonna start with some Patreons. There's a lot about Otto in the next, where we're going next and what we think will be revealed about Otto. Let's wait a minute to get to that. Let's start with, I like this one from Tapartos because it allows us to talk about Josephine, and that's always one of our favorite things to do. Tapartos asks, what has it been like watching Jo from across the table since she got there? What character voice was your fave? Oh,
I love that this is for us because all 3 of us are literally across the table.
Oh yeah.
Did we talk about this on a short rest where there was a switch up time where we considered, or at least we even brought up, switching things up and putting Sabrina and who's Sabrina? Sabrina Carpenter, the singer. No, we putting Serena and Josephine across the table from each other, and they both immediately went nope.
Yep.
And it wasn't about I want to be, I mean, it was kind of about I want to be next to you, but they both were, Serena in specific was like, looking you dead in the eye doing so much of this is going to be really difficult for me, so no.
Yeah. I think it would have added a lot, but I understand why, like, Serena needed that, not only proximity to Josephine, but like not making direct eye contact. I completely understand.
I also think if Serena weren't Otto, it might be different too, because Otto is so deflect. Otto is like,
Yeah.
oh god. And so not being able to escape her eyes would, I think, be very problematic for him.
I really have enjoyed watching Josephine's journey because she came into the game
Yeah.
not knowing any of us, and we didn't know Josephine.
Yeah.
And so it was really fun to have Josephine join the game and then incrementally get more and more comfortable in the party and with us as people, so that by the end, not only are we a really tight party, we're also a really tight group of friends, which was really kind of lovely. It was a really lovely, natural transition.
Yeah.
And I have to say, is it Haley, the Valley Girl?
Hallie. Yes.
Hallie was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Just because it was fun to listen to Josephine try and do that voice.
I wanted more of Hallie. I was sad when all of them went away. I was sad when Rillian went away. I was sad when Rhea went away. But I was like, I think we only got Hallie for maybe 2 episodes. And I was like, I wanted more of Hallie for sure.
I think should have pimped her out more and done like almost a character parade.
Like,
where
who
we
else you
somehow
got?
Figured out that or just to have her revisit these older characters of hers.
Yeah.
And then like have to switch as she's like morphing into like some other character. You know what I mean? Like she has to shuffle through all the ones she's done.
It's like
Sure.
it's like a trying on dresses montage in a movie, except with a changeling. You're like, who else you got? No, that one.
That's a little binary, but yeah.
Oh, yes, you're right. Good point.
They might have been trying pants on.
Trying pants. Yeah, I always think of trying on wedding dresses, but that's because
Probably wigs.
Four Weddings and a Funeral is one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Sure.
So that's where my mind went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one did you like?
Hallie's a really good one. Gosh, I think just watching her go from one to another was my favorite. I don't know if I had a favorite. It was really funny whenever she had to go back to Narelle. I don't know how much of this was on camera, but Josephine had to prep herself vocally whenever she had to go back to Narelle. She was like, hang on, I need a moment.
I don't know which one my favorite is. I mean, I can only hear Yuri in my head for some reason.
With the Irish Yuri?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
So I don't know. It was such a delight to sit across the table from such an amazing player and amazing human, and felt very lucky.
We had that thing, I mean, and we talk about it, and I think it's something that you all have, that we all have, that it's really like the way to do this, and hopefully you're able to put yourself, and it obviously takes warming into it, but the way to do it is just go into things with an open heart and just grab hands and jump, right? And she epitomizes that so completely. I think you talked about it once too, Adam, where there was definitely like vibe checking with Josephine earlier on. She and I have known each other for years, but we never actually played together. It was, I had an eye on her for a long time, but it was just timing, like roll, like all of it. And so we were so happy to actually get the chance. And once Ron and I were like, who would be good, and she immediately was like, yes, please. And so it was a dream scenario that we were able to bring her on, and she brought all of that immediate depth, and more so than I even knew was capable. I mean, she spoiled changelings for me now. I don't know.
Now we're gonna be like, who else you got?
The next changeling I'm gonna be like, yeah, but
are you gonna do it like that? Just kidding.
Oh God, the worst.
I'm kidding. I would never.
That's how you play it? You can you can do that. You can do that, I guess.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Josephine might have done it.
We had this one cast member.
I won't say who, but her name rhymed with Mosephine.
What other questions we got?
We apologize to the next person who tries to play a changeling at our table. Oh, goodness. Let's see. I'm going to jump to Discord because Emerson, the Tension's got questions. And I love this one, actually. There are huge themes of found family in this story. This is true. What are y'all's characters' feelings towards blood family and found family right now, each having both lost and found both throughout this story, and with it coming up so much in this last chapter? Well said. Sheesh. Kari, I mean, this was such a large factor of kind of of that like big emotion that sort of came out towards the end. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think that the general feeling for Coco is that found family is where it's at.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't beat it. Plus, I think it's almost all Coco is known. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it's taken a while for Coco to like really lock in and be accepting of that they do care about these people and they are family. Like, oh, this is what family is. And it's like, now I have to say goodbye. So it was just really like heartbreaking, you know?
Yeah.
Because even though all the characters were just like thrown together in these extreme circumstances, it's still a choice.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And sometimes we would not choose our blood relatives.
It's very true. It's very true.
But Coco doesn't even know their blood relatives really, except for, you know, mom.
I mean,
dad.
you're just getting to know mom and dad. I mean, you probably, what you do know about your dad is, you know, questionable.
I know.
You know what's great though, Kari, is anytime you want to talk to him, you just need to say "I wish." So you could totally bug the crap out of him.
Dad,
just like
Dad,
all the time.
Dad,
Hey,
Dad,
Dad,
Dad.
Dad, hey, Dad.
Dad. All right, you wanted this. Let's go. Yeah.
You wanted to be a father. Here we go.
I'll go through my teenage years.
Right.
You're so annoying.
Everybody knows that the 400s are elves' teenage years. Or wait, is that? Yeah, like you're 400? I forget how old. I forget the day.
I don't
the exact age. We'll figure it out.
Adam, what about you? Found family versus
Well,
blood family.
It's funny because Cristobal never valued family, never valued interpersonal relationships. People were always just kind of tools for him. Mm-hmm. So he's really grown on, and he's still warming to the idea of people in his life, especially, like you said, found family over family. Especially now that, you know, he's found his mom and he's made the decision to kind of step away from that, and he's got gassed in his life, which is funny that Cristobal feels closer to a robot than he does to most people. But there's
That's the biggest found family, right? Is Cristobal's robot daughter. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's fun. But I'm like, he's really kind of, you know, he's got Otto, he's got Coco, he's got Val. It's just like these. It's really interesting, and it's warming him in a way that he hasn't experienced before, which is nice. Which is nice because I think it's a great counter to the darkness that he's experiencing at the same time.
It actually kind of all reminds me a little bit of the latest the episodic version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
Like,
I really need to.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, you know, obviously the movie is like these two amazingly gorgeous, like people falling in love with each other. What?
Right.
And then like having all this tension, but then like the Donald Glover and Maya
Erskine.
That version is like. I'm probably gonna this is probably not the right thing to say, but like almost like, well, they're outcasts.
Right.
They feel like kind of almost like rejects in a way from the from the company, and so then it's like they're just like having to learn how to people.
Yeah.
And like be with other people.
Yeah, be a human being. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I do need to watch that show because that was one of those where it's like they're making a series out of that movie. The amount of plot in the movie could be summarized in a page easily. You know, it's like how are they going to stretch that out? Okay, interesting. But
it's
I do
great.
Need to watch it.
It's really
very
great.
good.
Slow burn. Yeah. It's good.
Very cool.
But Morgan, I mean, do you feel that with like that Val's come to a form of peace with his family? I mean, do you feel like there's reached a? I mean, obviously there's more to dive into, and obviously they're all dead now. But
no, they're not. That was the wrong timeline.
But like at the same time, you guys kind of came to a not understanding. That's the wrong word. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a
I don't know.
An understanding?
No, I don't know what we came to.
Stalemate.
It's a stalemate, if you will. I don't know what we came to. I think it's going to be really interesting. like kind of revisiting the end of what happened at the end of the chapter and where we're going next, because it was kind of like that wasn't supposed to happen. It was still so sad to watch your family be so broken. Because Val, I think, despite what Coco said at one point near the end of, you know, you're gonna go back to your family, you're gonna run the company, you're gonna do everything, you're gonna be the oldest boy, you know, or whatever, and it was as I said in the short rest, she read him for filth completely, and accurately so. But Val doesn't want that. And I think Val...
But do you think that Val didn't know that they didn't want that until that moment when we were all basically like...
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I do, actually. I do.
Oh, okay.
No, but what was so heartbreaking about this last chapter for Val and the chapter before was that, no, he gave it up. He was like, I don't want this. And he was truly like, with Vizzy, you are so much better at this. You like this life. You can have it. I'm gonna F off. I don't worry about me. I'm gonna get out of your way because all I do is cause problems.
I feel like that was late coming though, because I seem to remember
my session zero. My session zero. I say it very clearly to her. I was like, yeah.
As far as what I'm aware of, like I felt like I remembered you saying like I just want to get to my family and I have a life to get back to, like even in those last moments of our last episodes, and I see that's why I was like you're gonna go back to your family, and
I see that, and particularly in the early episodes, I think Val was like that because Val's session zero was your family is not okay with you gone. And so Val did not want to get pulled back into it, but he also didn't want particularly his brother and sister. Val could care less about his father, honestly. That was the great irony of it, was that when he came back, he was like, there was so much conflict about, yay, I brought my dad back, who's the cause of so much of my pain. But particularly Bretonius and Vizzy, when they weren't okay, and when Bretonius is living in the sewers and Vizzy has been, having relations with a corrupted vampire werelion. Hey, and I'm not here to yuck her yum, but also it was like this, I wanted out and they pulled me back in. This little bit of like I thought you were going to be better without me, and the fact that you're not is heartbreaking. So the fact that Val, he did want to get back because he was worried about them. But not even really knowing what he could do. I think I even said that at one point too, where it's like, I so desperately want to get back to them, but I don't even know if I could help.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm talking about a later moment, but that's okay.
No, there is wanting to protect them. And I've thought about this too. I don't think necessarily Val is like an Aragorn type figure from Lord of the Rings, where he is destined to go back and retake the throne or whatever. I don't necessarily think that. I think Val could potentially be quite happy with, if he knows his family is safe, being with you guys and being with his other family and doing the good that he knows how to do. Helping how he knows how to help, because he's crap at business, he's crap at politics, he's crap at magic. And so,
you know what's interesting about Val? You are the only one of us who has responsibilities.
Which he tried like hell to get rid of.
Right, but like at the end of the day, it's like Cristobal, Coco, Otto, we all have tasks. But back home, it's not like people like the world's falling apart without us. In theory, I mean, maybe it is. Right. Not that it matters because the world's gone. But you know what I mean? Right. Like the idea that Val has, for lack of a better term, like adulting to do, and all of us are just kind of running around, like kind of like trying to live in the moment. It's an interesting thing to play with.
Yeah, and it's those themes of life. Yeah, boy, it's those themes of not being able to like run from your attachments. I was just not to get super deep, but I was just talking about the movie Heat the other day, which was like Robert De Niro's character in Heat is like, never get attached to anything that you can't run away from in 5 minutes if you think the heat's coming around the corner. But then the whole movie's like, there's no such thing as having no attachments, and you're just kind of.
You know what movie I was thinking of when you said that?
Which one do you think? Were you thinking of?
I think it might be called The Heat.
The Heat with
Sandra
Sandra
Bullock,
Bullock. Yes, often confused. The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. Great comedy. I'm talking about.
Wow, I don't remember that. Yeah, Robert De Niro.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Black Akari is on the same page as you. That's correct. That classic comic beat between Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and bank robbing.
Yeah.
Jay Wolf says, "Big Bro Val the adult." Oh, I don't wanna.
All right, what else you got?
I know. Oh, but okay. So yeah, this leads me to the next bit. But okay. All right. This is sort of a duo question between Tapartos and Brian Hughes. Tapartos asks, "Where do you think the story is headed? Anywhere you want to visit." Brian Hughes then gets into specific questions about Otto, because that was decided pretty much at the end, and that's where we landed, so to speak.
We're going to the caves.
Is back on Toss, back near Atos Peak. We're going to Owlville. And that I want to kind of revisit that decision to do that, because I couldn't really remember. It's not the obvious choice, but we're like, there's so much to be learned there. And maybe there are friends there. There are more allies there. Like, that's kind of been one of our things of like, let's keep gathering friends. And we also don't necessarily know the timeline of what it means about, because Medulon, as I think, is still coming to Mechas at some point.
Well, it was the most logical choice, because it's the only place that we know nothing of. Mm-hmm. Literally, out of all of us.
And
it's the only place.
It feels like the answer for whatever our big overarching questions has to come from a combination of everything, and it feels like there are too many questions still remaining there that we never answered.
Also, I'm so curious, are the rest of the Owlins still in the nest? They never fled the nest?
Very good question.
They're all just waiting up there. They're full on adult birds.
It's a very good question.
And they're like, we don't want responsibility.
Well, and what is the nest in this regard? Is the nest the home? Is the nest the, is the nest the cave? Or is it a literal physical nest? I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I also think that there's a lot of value for all of the characters going to a place where family is extremely valued and kept sacred, and that it's encouraged, like love is encouraged there. And I think that's one of the reasons Cristobal wants to go there, because Cristobal's never seen that.
Yeah.
He's never seen that. And he's so curious, in addition to wanting, like, he knows it's a place of power, and that's where the obsidian kind of has some origins and things like that. So yeah, he does view it in that respect, but he's also in the back of his mind like, so they just accept you for who you are when you come out of the nest? That's interesting. Tell me more about this,
I think I'm really curious, like, is Uncle Jeb what is Uncle Jeb?
There's a question specifically about, okay, that is one of Brian Hughes' questions. What do you think Otto's uncle will sound like? And do you think Otto has been biased in talking about him, or will he be less perfect than described? I mean, that's a good question.
Obviously less perfect.
I don't know if anyone could live that up to.
Perfect.
Yeah. How do you live up to that?
I mean, because he would be unbearable if he was like the Uncle Jeb that Otto describes. Like, oh my gosh, I know everything, you guys. Let me tell you.
I really hope they sound just like Otto. I hope that's how all owls sound.
All owls sound exactly like Otto. I don't know. Does chat know? Did you guys actually get to hear Uncle Jeb's voice in Uncle Professor General Jeb in the session 0? Because we've never heard it. But I don't know. I don't know if you ever saw Jeb in the session 0. So you guys might already know what he sounds like. Yes, we have.
That's a good point.
Sparta says you guys know. Okay. I was gonna say, you don't introduce a character like that and never meet them. Yes.
Yeah, apparently. You know what I'm kind of hoping?
Ron has a Jeb. Go ahead.
I'm kind of hoping Uncle Jeb isn't even an Owlin. Like,
I assume he's not. I I assume he's absolutely not an outland.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's outstanding.
Well, I
Like-
think hadn't we even postured the theory that Uncle Jeb Jeb might be Bahatha in disguise?
Maybe. I could see that.
Like the fact that the Owlin are guarding the obsidian, and like kind of this ultra like protected, like very valuable thing to them.
We haven't seen all the versions of Bahatha, right?
No,
There were 3.
Definitely not. Yeah.
And we haven't seen them all.
Yeah.
We've seen the voice, right? And we've seen the body, but we have not seen what I'm assuming to be the mind. So I wouldn't be surprised if Uncle Jeb Deb is like the mind of Bahatha. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, the voice, the will was the big will. You're. I'm just remembering. Yeah, and then
I do imagine that that Otto's home basically looks like a modern day junkyard because they like steal so many things. Like I imagine there's just like a toilet seat and like you know what I mean, like old cars.
They just
and, like,
go up to the surface
old...
to like grab things.
Yeah, and there's just like mountains of it. So the cave is actually made out of garbage.
Right. So like is Otto
treasures?
Right. Well, that's just it. Is Otto gonna have like a Little Mermaid moment with
stuff? Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you say my nest is complete? Well, and don't forget, if we're going to the Owlinville, we have to check out their plays because they have a thriving creative community where they've.
What if they're all thespians too?
Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters, Backdraft. What were the Tremors?
Kevin Bacon.
We can meet Kevin McCowlin. Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
Cristobal has spent whole days as Kevin McCowlin. I mean, we've got to at least figure out what that person looks like. You were just kind of guessing, really.
Yeah.
Yep.
Incredible.
Oh.
What else we got?
Well, and we were said it was said that like that Uncle Jeb Jeb is like keeping something from you, or isn't what he appears to be, or something. And maybe that is just the secret that Otto revealed at the end of the chapter, which is the giant egg that Otto came out of before that was dropped. He was Otto was baby in a basket on a doorstep to the Owlins, seemingly.
Oh, really?
I mean, that was Serena's. I mean, I don't know if I might be conjecturing on some of that, but that is definitely what it felt like. Is that it was revealed that it feels like a reveal that Otto isn't actually an Owlin.
Well, I think we're finding that out.
I think we're definitely going to be finding that out. But also,
but we've already been finding that out.
Well, yes,
yeah. Going on with their
there's a lot of other things. That's correct. Yeah. But some of the other things that I'm looking forward to, if we're going back to Toss, I think Strix is there somehow, and now that the storms have been dropped, maybe we can find her. Don't know what that means. But also, Kari, I mean, are we going to go see Drek? Or do you...
I mean, maybe it would be great if somehow Coco could get a message. I mean, it's long distance is tough, you guys.
Long distance is tough, I know. Or is he alive? Is he okay?
Yeah, maybe one of our Patreons would like to write a Drek letter.
Oh,
that'd be sweet.
Drek.
Little messages. Yeah.
Yes, little mess. We're gonna do it like a stage version of Love Letters, like that old play Love Letters, between Coco and Drek. Love letters.
Just like Coco's like, what does this mean?
From Drek. He probably doesn't have great handwriting because he's got giant bear paws.
From it's all very vague.
I also like the idea that you'd spend all this time writing this letter and then you send it and Drek can't read.
Oh. That was one of the questions. Actually, jumping back a little bit, Tapartos did ask, after Otto's secret about the egg, what do you think Otto is? I mean, look, if we're just going to jump back a couple cooldowns ago, I think there's, just because Serena threw it out there, I can't believe I didn't think about it. I think Otto might be a phoenix.
She's been hoping to be a phoenix for a long time.
And the phoenix egg was imagery from campaign 1 that was huge, because every time Meep that Fahima's phoenix would get reduced to 0 hit points, it changes back to an egg. and then
Oh,
you would have
that's
to
cool.
rehatch that egg another day or something like that. But then if the egg got damaged, Meep would die. Luckily, that never happened. But yes, whenever Meep would get hit or injured, they would have a few hit points. But if they ever went to 0 hit points, egg. Tuomas says easy to test. Kill Otto. Right? Yeah, no problem.
We solved everything. Don't worry about it.
All right, we're back. We are back. That was me, Adam. You were saying you had potential issues. Then I had an issue. So I think you passed them on to me. But it's okay.
You're welcome.
All right, we're good. I think
Keep them to yourselves. I don't want them. Thank you.
Spectrum. Anyway, but yeah. So I mean, is there anything else? Like, I think Plakakari said, if Otto was an Aarakocra, like a giant bird. I mean, Otto would love to be an Aarakocra. I mean, there's nothing,
true,
because that would mean Otto could fly.
Yeah. I don't feel like Otto is that.
No, I don't think so either.
I think it's because we had J.W. Cartwright on, and he was an Aarakocra.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really any like a recognition from character to character of like, that's me.
Just
You know what I
really
mean?
like a jealousy. I mean, I remember Otto just being so in love with what was Jasper's name? I'm Zeno. Boy, yeah, I remember that. That was a while ago. Zeno Demetrius or something like that. Yes, but yeah. Doug in Texas says Jessica Lynn Parsons killed the stream because she didn't want Meep secrets getting out. No, definitely not. But yeah, we have another beautiful question here from the tension. Emerson would love to know how that finale felt to play and create together, and the choice to play that episode so character led with calling scenes and moments rather than the more traditional GM guiding. That's a really good question. Oh, are we frozen again? What? No. All right. No, I think we're here.
You're here.
Yeah. All right.
We're just very still in thought.
Yes. That's a lovely question. Thank you. That's nice. I think it was, some of that was, as I think we said, Ron and Josephine had communicated a little bit before the chapter, like to basically work out, you know, I think Ron wanted her to certainly feel satisfied with, you know, with what's going to happen, with, you know, like with where Yuri was going to end up. And I mean, spoiler alert, not spoiler alert, with this way, it's very possible, and I think highly likely, we will hear from Yuri again in other little ways. Josephine, I know, has some stuff in mind. The one thing that mentioned that I'm going to have to make sure, I will make sure, because I plan on doing a cooldown with Josephine and Ron very soon, that I will make sure is being done, is that now that Otto apparently has taken a cleric level with Yuri as their patron, that Josephine has promised to reveal, like, pre-write up everything that happens the first time that Otto casts certain cleric spells.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, oh, you cast Bless, I get to say what happens.
That's very funny.
Oh, I love that. We should do like pre-recorded so we can play it back in Josephine's voice.
Yes. Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Kari?
I really enjoyed that play. I don't know it really too like much differently about like a GM led ending for a full chapter like
sure.
that. But I just thought it was just so lovely. And I will say too, I know Ron and Josephine had talked about how they wanted, you know, Ron obviously, like you said, was concerned that Josephine felt satisfied by how it ended for them for this chapter. But I know that Josephine was really like, it was really great and said so much about her as a player too, because she just wanted to play with us as much as possible. Yeah. She didn't want to do any secret rooms. She didn't want to be away from the party. She wanted us to actually do it in actual play. Like, it was
so
really sweet and such a great gift for us, I think, because it changed how we handled that.
And there's going to be some chapters, obviously, that are more plot driven, right? Like, at least at the end. And this certainly had some plot, but like where the end will right up to the end be like to the story and cliffhanger. And this one, I think, to Ron's credit and certainly Josephine's credit as well, it was very important to all of us to kind of, at a certain point, it's not like the story's gonna pause, but the story's we're gonna reach a certain point, and then Ron was very clear to all of us. He's like, I'm gonna give you some time. I'm gonna give everybody some time, and so it allowed that close at the end of the chapter to be more, instead of a plot driven, a character driven end to the chapter, and that was beautiful and exactly what the Doctor ordered, I think.
If I remember correctly, the first part, what was that? Was it episode 4 and 5, or those are our last ones?
Yes.
For that chapter?
Yeah.
I feel like episode 4, it felt at the table, it felt a little wonky. It took us a while as a party to like settle in, because am I right? We filmed that on the same day, right?
We did. Yes.
Yeah. And so you could just tell, I think it's because we were all fighting, like leaving each other. Like it was really wild.
Right.
And so it really, to me, felt like, there was an energetic shift once we hit what would be episode 5.
Right.
Because we were like, well, this is our chance. We have to say all the things that you want to say to the other person.
Yeah.
Which I think is like, it's like life,
It just
didn't take your shot.
I just didn't expect, shoot your shot. I just didn't expect that the world was going to end before we got there. That was
Wow.
at the end of episode 4, where it ends with us returning to the City of Glass. I should have been happy about returning to the City of Glass. It's like, oh cool, we're going back.
Should you have been?
No, it's the worst. It's the worst.
I know that. I'm like, no, I'm not there. That's the worst place.
It was.
Cristobal doesn't even want to be here.
It was. Especially when it's like, and in the city is all of your dead friends and family. It's like, oh God, no.
Because this went so well last time.
Yeah, it
Let's
really.
go back.
Let's please
Yeah.
no. It's like, it's where we first met. Yeah, this place sucks. Let's get out of here as fast as possible, please.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that was. I think Serena referred to that as a real Empire Strikes Back moment, and she was dead on it. It was like, oh God, no. Yeah, I had no idea that was coming, and of course, once it was revealed that we were always in that kind of wrong timeline, and there were things that weren't right about it. About that timeline where we were. There were things that, I was clocking that I was like, that's not how it should be. But I was just giving that up to wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff. And the fact that it was like, no, you were never supposed to be there. I was like, oh my God. Brutal. Just brutal.
But the interesting thing is, Zozezra sent us there. We didn't choose to go there.
Yeah.
He sent us to that timeline at that moment.
Yeah, I got questions for Zozezraz next time we see him.
Why do you think that was, Adam?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's
what do you hope the reason is?
I think.
What do you hope the reason is?
No,
Adam?
sure, yeah.
I honestly think that we were sent there in that time to give Vals a little bit of closure.
Oh.
Is my guess.
Yeah.
It's my guess that Zozezra saw what you were going through with your family, knew that your timeline had already been destroyed, and sent us there because that was the last chance for you to have some closure.
Was that Val's timeline though? I don't think it was.
That's what I'm saying. Your timeline's gone. Your timeline was destroyed. So this is the only opportunity for you to have any closure.
Wait. Okay, now, but I could have this wrong. But we were told by Zozezraz at the end of the previous chapter, or one of them, that I think we are all still. I don't think we're pulled from different timelines together. We might be, because if you're saying my timeline's gone, then are we getting?
Well, I think all of our timelines are gone.
But there is one left, and we're told that we're the final one. That's why
we're also getting the opportunity to create a new world. You know what I mean? Because isn't that what we're basically doing? We're basically going to be.
We were worried that it was going to be that, but Yeah, I need to. There's parts of the end of the chapter
We're going to
that I
have
need
to
to rewatch.
populate the Earth with just a population of weirdos. And
I was really
people who
afraid.
have
I was really afraid it was going to be
problems
something
with-
like
I
that.
just love the idea that like all the humans or all the halflings would be created with Coco's idea of like this is what a halfling is, and then they're all running
I'm
around.
like, yeah, you're like half this and half that.
We
Yeah.
we are not the party to do this.
You're like half rock, half blue.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Incredible.
That's what a halfling is, right, guys?
I don't know. I
Ostensibly,
mean, maybe one of the reasons we were sent to that timeline was to kill and defeat the blood god, because it's hard to know, because there are certain inflection points, right, that carry over no matter what timeline we're in. That we have been very clearly told.
but he wasn't a god.
But he wasn't. But no. But he was one of the Fetid born, and now we've taken him out. It doesn't matter that he wasn't a god.
I when we saw the picture, I don't remember there being a blood or oozy. You know what I mean?
No, but there was the
Oh, the lion.
the lion guy who's gone now.
I see. That's a good point. That's a good point.
So I think.
It's such a good point.
Thank you. I don't know. We're guessing. Yes. Zabrian says, well, it's a convergence of each of their timelines into the last timeline that they're now creating with the help of a god. Yuri sending all of those souls back. Okay. That sounds right.
Good. Let's go with that.
I should have rewatched the end of the 5th episode because you're like it is a bit of a blur right now.
Ron threw a lot of lore and a lot of
not
rules
Ron.
at us at the end,
Not
and we're all
ever,
just sitting there
and
like,
not just this episode. No. Yeah.
It's true, he really did. And what we're absorbing and what we're not. I know Val absorbed the important stuff of like, your family's gonna be okay, at least for now. We have some time. We can go wherever we want. So we're choosing to go to Otto's home to see what can be learned there. But maybe we're gonna have to go back to Mecca soon.
Are we going to the auto zone?
The Otto zone. Get in the zone. Otto zone.
Thank you. Thank you.
This has been 90s, early 2000s radio commercials. I know some people got that. All right, good. Sorry for you, younger audience members. Is that still an ad? I think maybe it's not.
I don't know. Spelling's fun though.
Spelling is fun. AutoZone. I think those are all the questions that we have. Let us know, friends in chat, if there's any that we're missing. But yeah, I think, gosh, how does sending work with timelines, IRC Yaz? That's a very good question. I don't know.
How do you think it works? RIC it. What is your name?
IRC Yaz.
RIC as Rick.
Yes. But Ron continues to deliver absolutely earth-shattering information in just the most lackadaisical, like, chill way possible, with once again Gast going like, oh, the world's gone. What do you mean?
Sometimes I look at Ron and I'm like,
What
is wrong with your brain? and then other times I'm like, I like this brain.
But there's a few corners that I don't like to poke around
I
in.
understand this. Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
What is
fascinating though? Yeah.
I think that means he's a good DM, because I think every player who should have a moment where you're both in awe of and a little bit frightened by your GM.
Yeah,
You're
for
like,
sure. I'm like,
what?
yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
Like, why did you do that? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh,
Those
gosh.
were all really good questions, though.
I know.
Agreed.
Thanks, Franz, for so much questions. Thank you, Angel Devilson. I see you giving out subs. Thank you, friends. But yes, there's a bunch more stuff coming soon to the Patreon and to this channel. So be on the lookout. We're gonna have some more cooldowns here in the next week or so, but also some other content we're coming on, and we're working on schedule and what's happening from here. What happens to our Stormborn in the next chapter? I don't know. Not even Ron knows, because who knows what we'll do.
We won't even know while it's happening what's happening.
I mean,
That's how we roll.
Also, like going to AutoZone. Just what I'm gonna call it from now on. Going to AutoZone. But also I think particularly for Val, Cristobal is going to start to be concern number one in a good way, which is just continuing to like make sure the Cristobal's okay. You know,
like,
hey bud, how you doing? Hey.
So,
Hey, look at it this way,
feeling a little
guys.
something? Yeah.
Cristobal's not afraid much anymore.
Yeah.
He's not afraid anymore.
But we're
I
So
think Cristobal's been afraid for a while.
But we
don't you
need
think?
we've got to get you some more stuff to lose. Wait a minute. No, that's not what I mean. Cristobal's
Which limb will be next?
No, that's not what I mean. It's like
I mean,
we're going to get more friends. Yeah, exactly. We're just going to give you so much to live for.
yes, we need you to make some disposable friends.
Disposable
so
friends.
lose them,
But
anyway.
But yeah, by episode 2 or 3 of the next chapter, you're definitely to be like, would everybody stop asking me if I'm fine? That is 100% going to happen.
Yep.
Are you fine?
But are you fine?
Yeah.
But I mean, are you fine?
I love you guys.
I love you guys too, and we love you, chat. It's meant so much. I've seen people say that they've never cried at a TDR episode before the end of the last chapter. That means a lot. Yeah, I mean, it was so much. And it really shows that we're so lucky and to have come together in this way and have this table. I continue to feel very grateful.
Agreed.
I was going to say very gratitude, but that's not a thing. DeParto says 20 insight checks per session on Cristobal. That's right. Everything insight check.
Absolutely.
Insight check. Insight check on
okay,
Cristobal.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I don't think you guys have ever beat me on an insight check.
Nope. That's the thing. Val's terrible at insight checks. It doesn't stop him from rolling them, though. I'm a -1 to insight. Oh.
Thanks so much for joining us, you guys.
Thank you, friends. Okay, so have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Be on the lookout. Oh, by the way, if you didn't see, we're in Screen Rant. We are on screenrant.com. We did a wonderful, right before that really traumatic last session of those 2 episodes, we did an interview with Caitlin Terrell from Screen Rant. It was a rambling interview. We talk about a lot of stuff, but it's very sweet. And
Caitlin is awesome.
Caitlin is awesome.
She's super cool.
And so we're very grateful to Screen Rant for sitting down with us. So check it out. I've posted it on the Discord. It's also on our Instagram and Twitter if you haven't seen it yet. We love you, friends. We'll be seeing you soon. But yeah, if you have any further questions, be on the lookout for more stuff real soon. And yeah, all right. I think that's all. Humankind. Bebo! Bye, friends.
Yeah.